Are you good at art?
Not particularly not. I appreciate art, but I won't say I'm good at creating it myself. I enjoy simple activities like sketching for relaxation, but I never mastered the painting or coloring.
Okay. Did you learn art at school when you were a child?
Yes, I did. We had mandatory art class in primary school, junior high school, senior high school, and we learned the basic of drawing like mixing color, sketching, or making crafts. It was one of the fun parts for me.
Okay. What kind of art do you like?
I generally drawn to modern art and contemporary art, especially abstract pieces that use the bold shape and colors.
Okay. Is art popular in your country?
I believe so. I believe so. Traditional and contemporary art are both quite popular. We have a rich history of batik and puppet theater. Recently, modern art and street art have also grown significantly, and you can find many in emerging local artists on social media.
Okay. Have you ever been to an art gallery?
To be honest, I haven't actually, but to a formal general art yet. However, I have visited Fredberg Museum at Jogja. It showcases a lot of cultural heritage.
Okay. Do you think children can benefit from going to art galleries?
Absolutely, I believe children can benefit immensely from visiting art gallery. It was fantastic way to simulate their creativity and imagination so that they can expose them to be more observant to the world around them.
Can you describe a book that you have recently read?
Uh, sure, I can. The book I like to describe is a classical novel called Animal Farm by a British author, George Orwell. It's a political allegory, written in the form of fable, while the characters are talking animals. It falls under genre of satirical fiction with a strong caution message. The story is set on a farm where the animals, tired of human tyranny, staged a revolution to create a society where all animals are equal. However, the pig, led by the cunning Napoleon, gradually resides power. The book brilliantly charts the animal descent from initial freedom into a new form of totalitarianism, culminating in the famous cynical line, all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. It's essentially a critique of the Russian Revolution and the danger of unchecked power and propaganda. This book is perfect for students of literature, politics, and history. Anyone who is interested in social commentary or understanding how power corrupts will find it fascinating because the language of the captivatingly simple and engaging. It also an excellent read for those who are just getting into classic literature. What I appreciate most was how timeless and relevant the message remained even though it was written decades ago. It was a very powerful and thought-provoking read that made me think critically about how leadership and freedom in the world are worth.
Yes. In your opinion, what makes a city a good one to live in?
Good cities should have excellent infrastructure and diverse opportunities. Firstly, I believe an efficient public transport system and access to quality healthcare are vital. Secondly, there must be good job prospect and educational facility for all residents to thrive.
Okay, and what are the advantages of living a city?
The main advance is confidence and opportunity. City offer diverse career choice and specialized services that are often unavailable in small towns.
Let's move on from the positive aspect to the negative aspect of city. In your opinion, what are the negative aspects of crowded cities?
The biggest the biggest drawbacks are pollution, noise, and high cost of living. In crowded cities, heavy traffic leads to poor air quality, and the constant noise can be stressful. Furthermore, housing housing prices are usually extremely expensive, making it hard for many people to afford a decent life.
Okay, how can government improve living standards in crowded city?
Governments, I think government should focus on investing in public service and affordable housing. They need to expand public transit to reduce road congestion and pollution. Additionally, policies are need to ensure a better distribution of wealth and space.
Okay, Les, what about air quality? What can people do to improve the air quality in the city?
Individual can make small but collective change, mainly concerning the transportation. People should be encouraged to use public transport, bicycle, or walk wherever possible. Instead of driving private cars, we can also support urban greening projects like planting trees as trees help filter pollution from the air.
Okay, thank you.